Hi, it's Amy again. Since Bob was found in a sinkhole, let's talk about how sinkholes form. We're going to start with the concept of erosion. Erosion is the movement of weathered rock and sediment, like sand, gravel, or dust, caused by water, wind, ice, or pollution. Today we're doing an example of an erosion experiment. We're going to be using sediment in containers that are the same size, and we're going to be using rain to show how sometimes erosion occurs on the earth with runoff. This first container we have contains topsoil with some gravel. This container includes topsoil, gravel, leaves, and mulch. And this final container has vegetation inside of it, simulating trees and plants. It also contains gravel, leaves, and mulch. We're going to show you when we have it rain on these different samples of soil what happens and how erosion can occur when it rains. We're going to pour the same amount of rain on each sample of soil. Then we're going to lift the table up to show how runoff occurs. While I'm doing this, make a prediction in your mind as to which container you think will have the most runoff. As you can tell, this had the most runoff. This was in the middle, and this one had the least. If you hypothesized it's because it has vegetation, you're correct. The roots in the vegetation help to literally grab onto the soil and keep it intact. That's why it's important to always make sure we replant trees if we ever cut them down to prevent erosion. Another way erosion occurs is through deposition. Deposition is collected sediment, sand, gravel, or dust being dropped or dumped from one location to another. Today we're going to do an experiment showing how deposition works. So we took an ice cube and added gravel to it to create a glacier that we're going to take across the surface of our clay map. We're going to show how the topography changes the way the surface looks from its original form. We're going to take this glacier as it glides across the surface. We're going to show you what happens to the landscape. What you're going to notice when you look at this closely is that we have formed some lakes. We've moved some mountains from where they were previously formed and pushed them over, and we've created some valleys, leaving behind sediment. That is our example of deposition. Erosion can also occur through the process of weathering. Weathering is the slow breakdown of rock or sediment by exposure to different types of weather. Now we're going to show you a demonstration of how weathering can occur. We're going to show you what it would be like to have wind change this landscape by blowing air through this straw. Now we're going to show how rain would weather the earth. Now we're going to show how ice can weather a landscape. And just like in real life, ice will take a bit longer to change the landscape than wind and water would. Now you will help us with some experiments on erosion, deposition, and weathering. Hopefully these concepts will help us in this case.